Good afternoon to everyone. I'm very glad to welcome you to this webinar about exploitation of state-of-the-art big data and AI technology for insurance services. This is a webinar happening on the as part of our Infinitec project, this is H2020 project. So the idea of today is to have a very a discussion with you and have as much feedback as we can from each one of our participants. So we will be having a tool. We will be using Slido in order to collect as much as information as we can from your side. We will be asking. We will having a survey. So please, I will add in some seconds to the chat the link and the code that you need to go to in order to participate of this questionnaire. You can also ask questions through this tool. So please we are welcome to hear all the questions you might have, and we will be happy to answer at the end of the webinar. I want to also tell you that the webinar is going to be recorded, and the recording will be available just after we finish this webinar, and we will also upload it on our YouTube channel, Infinitec YouTube channel. So I would like to introduce our speakers of today. So I'll start with maybe ladies first. Lena, maybe you can tell. You can just present yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lena Neithardt. I am a consultant at Genia & Co. Genia & Co. is a small reinsurance broking and consulting firm based in Munich in Germany. And we work in Infinitec on the agro insurance pilot together with AgroApps. And I look forward to your feedback today.
Thank you very much, Lena. Andreas?
Hello everyone, I'm Andreas Politis. I'm a modern property technical manager in Dynamis Insurance. It is a property and casualty insurance company in Greece. And we are the business partner in pilots 11 and 12 for Infinitec, who are related to motor insurance and health insurance.
Thank you very much, Andreas. Gregory?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Gregory Nikitakos, representing here AgroApps. I'm the Business Development Manager. AgroApps is an SME established in Thessaloniki, Greece, working around the agricultural sector. Within Fintech, we're working alongside General and Co, our colleagues, on the agriculture insurance sector, and we are very pleased to have you here and present you the progress that we have managed so far in the Fintech project.
Thank you, Gregory. And Carlos?
Hi to all. I'm Carlos Salvo. I'm the CEO of Winnerize. We are responsible for Pilot 13. We get information from open data sources to improve the underwriting processes for insurance companies in the commercial insurance side.
Thanks a lot, Carlos. So then I will just give the floor to our first speaker. I just remind you again, I will put all the information on the slide so you can participate from our survey. Please, it's very important to have the feedback of each of you. So please don't hesitate just to let us know, just to know that the survey is anonymous, so we won't have any names. So just feel free to tell everything you want to share with us. So Andreas, I just give you the floor.
Yes, let me share my screen now.
Well, in the meantime, I'm sorry, Aristodemus. I'm really sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Thanks, Gisela. Okay. I'm Aristodemus Pneumatikakis. I'm the R&D Director of Innovation Sprint, and I will be presenting immediately after Andreas. At Innovation Sprint, we are building a system that collects real-world data from people, from study participants, and that's exactly the system we are using in order to collect and analyze data from insurance company clients. and try to understand their risk. More about that later in my presentation. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Sorry again. Andreas, are you ready?
Yes, I guess now you see my screen.
Yes.
Perfect. So, thank you, Zella. I would like to welcome you again in our insurance workshop. As you see, the title of the presentation today is Taking Pay How You Drive to the Next Level. And you will realize in a few seconds why. Imagine pricing in motor insurance as a ladder. We used to be, and in some cases we still are, in the bottom step of the ladder by doing the pricing in a traditional and static way. In the last years, several steps have been made in usage-based insurance, and we are coming with our project to add something more, reaching the top of the ladder. But let's get started. First of all, as Gisela mentioned, it's of great importance to us to have your feedback. We have prepared a short questionnaire for each presentation in Slido. So please grab your phone and type Slido or just scan the QR code on the right. Or you can find the direct link in the chat. We will have the chance to view live the results of the presentations and comment them as we wish. Your opinion means a lot to us. First question to break the ice. In which insurance sector are you working? And if not, there are more options like academic, researcher, or data protection authorities. Please vote. And don't forget to press send to see your votes, of course, anonymously. Okay, I see technology company is at the top. We have insurance, now we have more people from insurance sectors, agricultural, motor, property. Okay, that's a diversified audience. Nobody from health insurance? Okay, thank you, guy from health insurance. Okay, and the insurance motor, now, okay. Now I can start, we are in the top of the list. I can start with motor insurance presentation. Okay, you can still vote. I'm moving on to the next question, but we also need your votes. Okay, let's wait. Let's see some more answering. The poll is active. Okay, I see we have many people from insurance sector in general and technology companies, of course, because it's a technology project. Now, let's move on to the next question. Where are you from? Believe it or not, apart from my curiosity and the fact that there is a nice visualization of the results, it is quite important for our study because we notice that people from same origin have specific bias for some matters. Okay, we have from all over Europe, I see. More from Serbia and Spain. Okay, I see Greece. Yes, it makes me happy because I'm from Greece and our company is a Greek one. Let's wait, we have already 15 answers. And Canada, okay, I didn't see it, but okay, we need to mention that there is someone from overseas. Thank you for attending, and thank you all for attending, of course, but okay. So, now the first question related to our presentation. How familiar you are with usage-based insurance? I hope we have people here from all levels of involvement in UBI, because we need feedback from all. Okay. I think that I have no idea what it is wins. Let's see how it will be till the end of the voting. Okay, maybe after the presentation you will have some idea of what UBI is. Okay, okay, we have some experts, we have more people that are now trying to find out some things about it. So we have audience from all levels of involvement. So we can start, I think, the presentation. So what is a problem we face in motor insurance, or better in every insurance sector? It's accurate risk assessment. But how insurance companies are estimating risk and calculating premiums? It depends on the driver, on the vehicle, and finally on the location. Well, the problem with this approach is that premiums are not affected by the actual usage and only change after a claim or in a predefined manner. What is usage-based insurance? A set of products that the pricing is based on the actual risk. It's the solution, let's say. We have pay-as-you-drive insurance products, meaning the more you drive your car, the more you pay. And the pay-how-you-drive insurance products, with the addition to mile coverage, information about braking and accelerating. Of course, we're not inventing the wheel. There are several products in the market offering this. Some are closer to pay-as-you-drive, and some are closer to pay-how-you-drive, but all differ from each other in various categories. We have diversity in the data acquisition method, mobile, GPS, simple tracker, etc. If they take into consideration the distance covered or not, if they take into consideration the braking, accelerating, and overspeeding, and in the last case, if you use your phone while driving. In Infinitec, we developed a more advanced service of Pay How You Drive. That's the reason for the title, taking Pay How You Drive to the next level. What's the business innovation of our product? In the Pay As You Drive service, we have the use of onboard units providing us real data from vehicles, not from a mobile app where you can import inaccurate data by yourself. We have real-time traffic information about accidents and roadworks and real-time weather conditions. Both of them, I believe, it is the first time to be considered in usage-based insurance. What we get from all of that? Personalized motor insurance products based on the actual usage, so on the actual risk. What exactly we collect? As we said, we use onboard units directly in the OBD2 socket of the car to acquire the data you see. Let's mention speed, acceleration, location, braking, fuel, wipers, lights, etc. In addition to this, we have the context information of weather conditions and traffic alerts. For the purpose of the project, the study was made in Spain and in the region of Vigo. I saw people from Spain, so you know the region. Well, having all this data, using artificial intelligence techniques and machine learning algorithms, we create 3 different driving profiles, starting from normal drivers and identifying in their behavior different levels of aggressiveness, aggressive or very aggressive. So in the video below, we see the web version of SmartField Profiler, an API created by Atos and trained with real and simulated data to identify all kinds of profiles. At the result, we see the profile calculated and some metrics such as time, distance, average speed, etc. Of course, the profiler doesn't work with magic. As we said, it has been trained with thousands of routes, real and simulated, using the below mentioned scenarios. From simple ones like driving above speed limits or turning without using blinkers, to more complex scenarios. And here we have frequent change of lanes in a straight road, not reducing speed in severe weather condition, driving with no light at night or in foggy conditions, and driving without reducing speed when approaching an area with a car accident or roadworks. As you understand, these are very few scenarios compared to those we can use to classify drivers. And there are much more combinations with all this data gathered that are pointless to mention in our presentation today. But how it is implemented in our ERP system? Of course, we don't drag and drop thousands of files for each vehicle. We created an API to interconnect with that API and import all these results. We see in the top left corner the page with the results, and using these results to adjust the premiums in a specific vehicle, which is a screen in the bottom right corner. But firstly, we need to set up the system with links and destination folders and map the vehicles, which is the license plates, with the vehicle IDs coming in the results. An issue we had to fix before moving on was how we would calculate the average profile combining thousands of routes profiles for the same vehicle. In statistics, there are the mean, the median, and the mode, but this doesn't apply in our situation because all these statistical averages are coming with the assumption that all values have equal gravity, which is not the case here. So we need a weighted average, but what are the options to weight it? Apart from the direct profiling the results of each route, we also have some metrics. Duration, mean acceleration, fuel consumption, mean speed, and route length. It would make no sense to use the mean values calculated, so between duration and length, we are using route length because duration has bias with speed. The other question that had aroused was how we will adjust the premiums as the result of the driver profiling. As we see in the flowchart, it will be reflected in frequent intervals. It could be a month, a week, or even a day. Of course, the rest of the triggering factors for premiums change, like an accident, remain the same. According to each insurance company's policies and infrastructure, there are a few approaches to do this. In case there is such an algorithm, by adjusting a claim on a claim algorithm to include the driver profile result. So in case the driver is classified as very aggressive, this can be equivalent to 2 claims in the last year, and if he is just aggressive, equivalent to 1 claim. Of course, it can be a brand new pricing factor for the premiums, as it is the age of the vehicle, the driver, or the aging power. And lastly, the option we found in our example, an automatic charge or discount in the premiums related to driver's profile. Now, one more question for you. What do you think are the constraints in the implementation of the Pay How You Drive service? Okay, I hope you didn't fall asleep with my presentation. Okay, thank you. Advances with the consent of the issued is in the top, the cost of implementation, general skepticism in the AI and big data technologies. Okay, I think the consent of the insured is winning by far. That was I was expecting the lack of access to context data because it's not easily available in every region of the Europe or of the planet, so that would be an issue in some areas. Okay, half of you believe that the consent of the insured. Okay, I think we have to persuade them that this is for their benefit and will get their consent. Of course, nothing can be done without their consent, but we leave that to the compliance officer of each company. Nice, okay. The 15 people who have started voting in the beginning still are with us. I'm glad with that. So let's move on. Another problem in motor insurance to deal with is fraud detection. The means insurance companies have to detect a fraud in a car accident are police reports, experts, and sometimes social media that reveal hidden facts about the accident. But what if we would use our data capture to find out the actual circumstances of an accident? Here are some use cases that can detect fraud with the process of the data mentioned. The vehicle reported to be involved in an accident is different than the real one. It happens sometimes. Another very common use case to report an accident at a different location. Of course, it can be reported at different countries, but you get the point. Then speed and driving reactions, the moment of the accident, the general circumstances of the accident, and all this, along with fraudulent reports of car thefts, can be monitored with common GB structure or with other UBI products. On the right side of the picture, we see the event data recorder that from this year, it is mandatory equipment for new cars, and this can assist in fraud detection and in the UBI in general. The innovation of service is that get detailed information in a time period before the accident. We can give you some serious information about the mood of the insured driver and the day of the accident. And you detect if the driver reported is different than the real one, or different than the usual driver of the car. By using the driver's profile, you get from the Pay How You Drive services. Well, here is a visualization of the data the claims department can have access to. First of all, we have the different routes on the map along with different driver profiles. And we have the weather conditions and the traffic alerts for the area of the accident. And all this combined can be used to detect fraud in an accident. But the point now is all this data will be accepted in a court of law. When there is a dispute between the insurance company and the insured, or even between the insured and another driver. Which leads us now to the last question of my presentation. What do you believe? Are we close to that? You have several options. Okay, I think the short-term response in the following years is winning because of the event data recorder. That's a good step from European Union. Okay, I'm really surprised that nobody answered that it will never be accepted. It makes me really happy that I have no answers in that. And I see that 20% it is already accepted in some regions and countries. That's nice to hear. So all this work and the project doesn't go in vain. Okay, as expected, the event data recorder will lead the next year's situation. Okay, and now the Q&A session. I think there is no question yet, but you can ask your question in the Slido and we can respond to that. Okay, I see no questions yet. So if there is no question, it's either it was you understand it completely or not at all.
Yes, I think it's
Let's wait for a couple of seconds. Maybe there's an answer or a question.
Did any have if we don't have any questions now? Well, there you go, Andreas.
Well, you believe the discount will be for those that accept to be monitored. There's an estimation of about 10 to 15%, let's say, if they are in the not aggressive profile, of course, if they agree to be monitored and have inconsiderate behavior in driving. I think it's more or less the same question and the same answer, with an estimated impact in the premium. It's nothing else to add.
Andreas, in anyhow, we can people can keep adding their questions, and we can go back to you at the end if there is some questions for you.
Yes, of course. So, thanks for your time. Let's move on to the next presentation, giving the floor to Dr. Aristodemus Mathematikakis.
Hello, everyone. Many thanks, Andrea. Quite a similar okay, I was trying to share. Quite a similar topic, only now very different sector of the insurance. We move to health insurance products and how we can personalize those. Unfortunately, not many people in the audience answered that they come from health insurance, but let's hope we can get useful insights from those 15 people that voted in all questions in Andrea's presentation, and there will be a similar feedback here. So the problem in health insurance is similar: accurate risk assessment. And we do have pricing factors, traditional ones. It's about analyzing the insured person. So we know about their gender, age, marital status, occupation, habits, smoking, alcohol, all that at the beginning of the contract. We also have an idea about these people from their health record. We know about serious diseases, surgeries, inherited diseases. All this is information, demographic and health information we get at the beginning of a contract. And of course, also the insurance plan plays its role in the pricing, depending on the covers, the amounts, the deductibles, the exclusions. So premiums traditionally remain mostly unaffected after the first enrollment, unless, of course, there is a claim, meaning after a serious disease. But we all know that behavior is important in health. It is a big determinant of health. So, how would you feel about personalization based on lifestyle, personalization of the health insurance products? So, this leads me to the first question. Would you consider offering personalized health insurance products that are continuously adapted to the client's lifestyle? Contrary to Andrea's presentation, you will not be seeing results before we close actually the poll. So I see we have 4 people voting. Let's give it a little bit more time, 8 people. Eleven people already voted. Okay, I don't see any more votes coming in. So let's see what people. Okay, more votes are coming in. Okay. So the majority of you would consider this. Some of you are not sure. And a few of you, of course, disagree with the concept. That's really a great result for me, because I'm going to spend the next 15 minutes talking to you about usage-based insurance in the health sector. So what is the solution for personalization, for continuous risk assessment? We will integrate real-world data in risk assessment. Such data are collected by activity trackers, so smartwatches, wristbands, and all these devices that we use when we exercise, but uh, also increasingly more and more throughout our lives, even when we are not exercising. And we also have health applications, so all these mobile apps that are either simply recording an activity or they are offering some advice, they offer exercise problems, and they talk also about diet. Can we use the collected data in insurance business? Well, we can. We can base our data collection, for example, in the Healthencia platform that we are building at Innovation Sprint. This is what we are doing in Infinitec. We are collecting measured data from built-in health applications in Android and iOS. Also measure data from activity trackers like Fitbit, Garmin, and a few more, and reported data from in-app questionnaires or widgets. The mobile app we give at the fingertips of your clients looks like the one on the right-hand side, where you have a screen with multiple widgets that your clients can use in order to enter data, but also visualize their data. And now I would like you to rank the following categories of real-world data for personalized risk prediction. So we have physical activity measurements like steps, calories, all the things that we measure from an activity tracker. We have sleep. Sleep is important for our health. So duration, sleep stages. We have body metrics or vitals like weight, blood pressure, resting heart rate, and the like. We have self-assessments that can be obtained via questionnaires we push to your clients regarding their quality of life. We have nutrition information, and we can also have common symptoms like headache, fatigue, diarrhea, whatever you can think of. So one person has already submitted their ranking. Okay, two of you up to now. We have 9 votes. Okay, we can start discussing the results as more people rank these different factors. Okay, I'm giving it a couple of seconds more, since one participant is now ranking the factors. Okay, so let's see the results. It's interesting. We have a clear separation between, let's move this, between things that can be actually measured objectively and those aspects you believe them to be of more importance, like the physical activity measurement, the body metrics and vitals, and the sleep measurements. All these are obtained from devices. And then you have actually downvoted things that your clients can report, like nutrition information, self-assessments of all sorts, and symptoms, because these are actually not measured. These are subjective data that your clients give. And I'm wondering if the ranking is as it is because of exactly this difference between objective measurements and subjective reports. So that's quite an interesting thing, because I'm certain all of you consider nutrition information important and the appearance of symptoms important, but maybe you don't trust those reports. That's quite interesting. Let's move on now. Once we have been collecting data, then there is a second application now at the fingertips of the insurance professionals. The professionals can view analytics about their cohorts. They can view analytics about the people that are actually in the system participating, and demographic information about them, the different symptoms they are reporting, and their adherence to answering the questionnaires you are pushing to them. Or they can see physical activity in general across all the cohort, as you can see it here. Uh, Moving on, we can go to individual patients, first, individual clients. So starting with a list of everybody enrolled, and you can see different data about them. There you can also see predictions of our models, but more about that later on. Or you can go and see individual data about people, like their peak heart rate and the resting heart rate across days, or histograms of these data. You can see their steps across days, and again histograms and lists of activities they are performing. Or here you can see uh, liquid consumption information about a particular person. So now I want you to again rank the importance of different analytic choices in your decision making. So when you are viewing the data of your clients, are you interested in uh, each client standalone? So comparison between the current data of that client and past data? Are you interested in statistics, short and long-term averages, trends, variances, and a lot? Or are you interested in comparison with peers? By peers, I mean people in similar situations as each one of your clients. And similar situations can mean groups of people with a similar age or similar conditions that they have had in the past. So let us see what you believe in terms of this ranking. So 2 people have participated up to now. Okay, quite interesting. Let's see some results, and you can continue voting. Statistics are very important for you. Okay, that's expected. You want to see how your people are doing at a glance, and not see day by day numbers that can get very difficult to interpret. I'm really intrigued by the fact that comparison with peers is important for you. That's quite nice. But yes, it is quite interesting to try to define what peer means and group the clients. And this can be done either by you, the insurance professionals, or by algorithms as well. Um, Last is the comparison with past data of self. So you are not so much interested on how people change across time. Okay, that's interesting. So does this actually mean that if people try to improve, you will not take that seriously into account, or it is just that other the other factors looked more interesting? Okay, quite interesting uh, takeaway messages. So thank you very much. Now let's go to the personalized assessment. We use machine learning models for the analysis of the insured person's behavior throughout the insurance period. So this thing results into a personal score for each of your clients. The insurance companies can provide personalized insurance products based on this score, or they can use it to help in their decision making. The real world data that is collected actually determines the score. How? Because it is fed, this data is fed into the model and the model gives a result to you. Um, the way these models are trained is using some training data from hopefully diverse populations, building well-being models about them, and then actually analyzing the performance of such models in terms of accurately predicting if people are improving or worsening, and then base a risk assessment on that. So across time, see if people are worsening, improving, or more or less being constant, and see what wins in every case. For example, here you see an individual where everything seems to be constant, while here you see an individual that is actually trying to improve a little bit. So using these scores, you can actually see categories of people, and you can see how we actually show the distribution of the scores in four different categories of people that we worked with. People that are athletic, they have quite high scores. Normal people actually span all the athletic range, but they go lower in score as well. Unfit people occupied a large space of values, but towards negative values, and feeble people are at the bottom end. This score can be reflected in health insurance premiums in frequent intervals. So now I would like you to rank the importance of the following factors in deciding for personalized health insurance products. And the factors are the traditional one, the initial registration data, the analytics of continuously collected real world data that you showed previously, and you gave me feedback about their relative importance. And finally, the risk predictions from well-being models that we train using machine learning and uh, training data. Three people have voted up to now. Okay, let's see how things look like at the moment. The winner is the analytics of continuously collected real world data. So this means you actually like the fact that you have real world data and that you have them continuously available to you, and you trust the graphs that you see, and you can actually uh, derive useful information from that. That's perfect. Fortunately, you also put some trust in the well-being models that we can train using machine learning and that can lead to risk predictions. So not as much as the analytics you analyze yourselves, but maybe you would consider the result of such models in some auxiliary manner. It is not surprising that initial registration data is important, but it is not very important in changing, in adapting your insurance products throughout the lifetime of the users. So thanks for the feedback. And now I would like you to rank some obstacles in actually collecting real world data. And we can have obstacles um, from the usage of the system. Let me be specific. Your clients will need to use a mobile app, for example, and some of them might not be familiar with doing so. The clients need to use devices, activity trackers, blood pressure monitors, etc., and they might not be familiar with that. Clients might enter the program with enthusiasm, but they could lose interest really fast. And clients can simply lie to you. They could begin some fraudulent behavior. It is well known in all these wellness applications that just to win a badge, people can tie their activity tracker on the leg of a dog or stick it inside a washing machine. You cannot imagine the ingenuity of people just to increase their step count and get a badge. Imagine how um, inventive people will be if they can save some money by doing so. So let's see what you think. Already 5 people have been ranking these factors. Let's wait a little bit more. Okay, 10 people, that's close to our, oh, 12, fantastic. Let's see what you believe. So the most detrimental factor is that the clients need to use devices. Yes, indeed, especially as the population grows older, it becomes more difficult to care for your devices. Make sure that your activity tracker has battery, for example, or use the blood pressure monitors that can either automatically give results to the system or you need to type the results in from the screen of the device. The decline of interest was the second most detrimental factor, and indeed it is a problem. We need to make our application interesting um, by offering things like gamification features, offering them goals to work towards, offering them rewards in terms of badges. Of course, there is always the big reward of the money that they might lose, that they might save from their premiums. I'm surprised that the fraudulent behavior is on number 3 because I would consider it the most detrimental factor. We'll talk about fraud in a minute. The use of a mobile app, you have ranked it last, but my experience with these things is that going over 60 or 65, it becomes a problem. So it's not something we should easily discard as a problematic factor here. So let's talk a little bit about fraud. Um, uh, People would cheat in order to gain. And we've been trying 2 approaches to solve this problem: the stick and the carrot. The stick is detection. So we train algorithms with real data from volunteers with no personal benefit in order to get models that will allow us to detect misuse of the application in the future. That's the stick, but also there is a carrot, persuasion. Imagine another service being on top of your UBI service. The provision to this insured person of accurate assessment of their risk on various health domains and the offer to them of advice about their health. And this could influence them into being more truthful because they might value the advice, especially if there is a collaboration with some valid medical institution uh, together with the insurance institution. We also, in order to do that, and let's go into some machine learning again, we use explainable artificial intelligence where we analyze each decision, no matter if it is positive, negative, or neutral. There are factors every time that try influencing this decision to a positive outcome, while others try to influence towards a negative one. We can take the factors that are trying to influence towards a positive decision and offer coaching services into increasing behaviors towards these factors and do the opposite, coach away from negative ones. Of course, you have to be careful because in all cases, what is the most detrimental factor? Age. And we shouldn't just say to your clients, please try to become younger. So now again, your help in ranking the following measures in our attempt to establish correctness, completeness, and truthfulness of the collected data. So this means let's not add noise in the system by mistake. Let's not misuse the system, and let's not forget about the system and stop giving data. So is it important to detect incorrect data with signal processing algorithms? Offer gamification features, goals, competitions, rewards with a mobile app? Or offer healthcare services based on the data to persuade the clients for the correctly use of the service? We already have two people that have answered. And let's wait a second. Okay, 12 people. So, uh, you believe, guys, in the stick. Okay. Um, that's lovely, but the stick can get us up to this much. There is always the case that we cannot detect something, or we might detect a truth under outlier as incorrect data. The gamification features, you like them a lot. That's okay. That's fantastic, and it can be done. You are not so much persuaded about the carrot. So the offering of healthcare services alongside your insurance services, most probably because you are from the market and you know that such synergies are difficult to establish. Maybe, I don't know. So many thanks for the feedback again. So what is our business innovation in our offering? It's the usage-based insurance in health sector. So the personalization of the offers for health insurance, and this is achieved by capturing and processing real-world data from your clients. The adaptation of the health insurance premiums to the insured person's lifestyle. And then in terms of fraud detection, it's the detection of abnormal behaviors with proper training of the algorithms and the motivation of the insured people to use the application correctly by providing them accurate risk assessment on various health domains and advice about the way they should lead their lives. Also, gamification aspects are used in order to keep the interest, and we do so with goals, rewards, and challenges. Now let's see what questions we have. What do you believe that this? Okay, I think the first two were from the previous case, but yeah, again, it's not me that should say that should speak about that. It's for you to decide, guys. But you need to, according to my opinion, you need to sell this system as a system that always decreases premiums, not increases. So you would say if you are not uh, behaving the way you should, then you get the standard. If you are behaving the way you should, then you start saving money. A new one, how using real world data can be GDPR compliant. Well, it can be GDPR compliant because the clients will actually give their consent for providing their data to uh, uh, actually the institution that is collecting the results, and to any third-party processors if this is the case. So in our application, there is a whole set of consents the people are giving, consents that have to do with the collection of data, consents that have to do with actually what's happening. Things are moving away. Okay, but the question is still there. Uh, uh, so consents about the way um, this data will be used, maintained, and everything. Consents about being contacted by a doctor in case of need, and the like. So yes, it can be GDPR compliant, and we make sure about that. Since there isn't any other question, I do have a final question for you. It's the same as the first one. I want to ask you again, if now you would consider offering personalized health insurance products. So yeah, compared to, uh, and I will compare it to your answers before and see if I managed to change the opinion of anyone. So before we had 13 answers, I would very much like to have 13 answers again. But I only have 6. Guys, help me out here, please. Mm. 7. Thank you. Okay, a flow of answers has begun. Okay, hoping we'll get the 2 remaining answers. Let us see what is happening. Well, that's interesting because right after the presentation, um, Okay, I will help you out. Let's see how we can fit these things in here. Lovely. So at the beginning of the presentation, 46% of you said yes. Now it's 73. I'm quite happy. 27% of you now saying you're not sure, 38% before that, and we completely eliminated the 15% that were not interested about it beforehand. So many thanks, guys, for your collaboration in this. Your feedback has been quite useful, and this concludes my presentation. Thanks a lot. And we can now move to the next presentation. It's Carlos, I think.
Yes, thank you, Estemos. Carlos, you can have the floor.
Hi, Isela. Thank you. So I'm going to share screen. So thank you very much to all. Thank you for coming. In Palo 13, inside Infinite Consortium, we are using data from open data sources to improve the risks and the underwriting for insurance companies. These risks that come from enterprises and small and medium enterprises, especially and regarding commercial insurance. So we have say that, okay, in next year's open data is going to, especially for commercial insurance, is going to revolutionize the sector of commercial insurance. So, and in these kind of things, what is the problem? Even that the insurance sector work with data, normally an average of 60% of the critical data that companies are using to assure the risk coming from enterprises, businesses, and so on, is inaccurate. This is caused by two main things. First, the collection of this data is intermediated through brokers or agents, so they make mistakes. And secondly, because traditionally in the insurance sector, the policies that you underwrite 1 year, they are renewed year by year without any kind of updating of the information. Because this updating of information, even that is important and give value, is so costly because it's doing manually that even that you can reduce time and risk losses, they are not doing it. So collecting open data do the online present on all the companies, not only regarding official registers like commercial registers, like a company has in the UK or in other countries, collecting this open data from this present website and etc., validating, updating, and enrich insurance data in real time is the aim of the project when we started in Infinite. So what we do in this pilot 13, we are getting information. The insurance company only has to give us two dates, business name and others of the enterprises that they have in their portfolio. So we launch our technology and we get several information that complete, enrich, and clean the information that the insurance company has. So the number of fields that we collect is almost 70 and are dividing traditional and non-traditional information. Traditional information about number of employees, financials, activities, location, but also we are collecting other information that is very important for insurance now and in the future, like web and cyber, opinion from clients, timetables, and also risk indicators. And all of this in real time. So with this information, we improve several areas of the insurance companies, like quotation, because all of you, sometimes you have been doing a quotation of an insurance, and they are asking a lot of information. So with this system, we can automate up to 90%. So we not only do more efficient the process from the insurance company, but also make this more user experience. Also on the writing, because we can check 85% of the information that the underwriter are using to check that the information is right, is updated, and before the renewal, they can adjust prices and coverages. And also, we can detect up to 75% of the changes of the risk. That means that we can discover new selling opportunities. As I said before, last but not least, in the renewals, this update of the information, giving the possibility to underwriters to have the right information updated every year before the renewals, improve the loss ratio in 3%. That means in a medium company with 50,000 enterprises or comments, that they are saving 1.5 million euros. And why is that? Because the technology that we have developed in Project 13, and together with our partners and technical validators, so like Lean Scale, is because it optimals, is based on robots that understand the format of data found and only process relevant information, truly relevant, is efficient. Each micro robot is 100% times more efficient and cheaper than any other traditional information and gathering process, and they are scalable in any country, in any language. So for the reason we can also process all information. And there is one important difference, that we are not working with databases. Why we are not working with databases? Because the information that is stored in these databases is all just one day after it has been stored. So we have developed this architecture that is so efficient that we can get the information from the sources every time that a client asks for this information. So how it works? We get from the insurance company the name and the name of the name, the address, and the activity of this commerce. So we detect not only that John Green Limited, that is the official name of the company, is working under the brand Pizza Roma. Also, we can correct the information about the address, and we can adjust the information about the activity. But not only about the first activity, we also can get the second and third activities. And maybe you are wondering that because the most important thing now for the insurance sector is to have the right activity and the address activity. And maybe you are wondering why it's so important. It's because having the right activity, they can reduce almost 40% the risk that they are facing when they are selling an insurance to commerce. And not only we can correct, also we can get more information and enrich the information that the insurance company has about this enterprise. So in that case, for example, we have improved, now we will see the platform, we have improved the data in 85% of an average of the customer of one portfolio. So we are giving very powerful information for the insurance company in order to update, enrich, and deliver better service and better, let's say, insurance products, more customized to the activity of the enterprises. Why us? I mean, as our colleagues have said before in the other presentation, why Winalize, or why Pilot 13 and not our competitors? First is because our data is collected in real time. Secondly, due to architecture and other technologies coming from Infinitec, we have flexible architecture. And third is because we are scalable by size and reason. When we started, some of our competitors, they were very focused in some markets, like US, and they let's say that it's difficult to them to move to other geographies. So using some models like multi-language models and so on, we can deploy our tool in any country in the world. And last but not least, is that no IT implementation required. And this is very, very important, mainly talking about insurance industry. Why? Normally, insurance companies, they have important legacy issues in IT. So to open APIs sometimes is very difficult for them. Obviously, we have API. We have already API implemented and working, but we have other ways that they can connect without touching, let's say, the IT departments. And this is contribute to have a very, let's say, very quick deployment. We are already working. Even we started with in 2019. We have detected that there are a lot of demand of these kind of services, so we are working in some countries and with some of the most important players in the insurance industry. And not only regarding demos, also we start to having paying clients. So now I would like to show you the platform. It's going to be very easy, very fast. It's the best way to show you how it works. So you, let's say, can upload the information. You can do it obviously through API. This is the normal way, but we have developed all of these, let's say, browser access, not only for demo purposes, also because sometimes there are companies that they prefer to work one by one and have this tool with the underwriters. So you can upload here not only with through this API connection, you can also upload one by one. And I have, let's say, upload some of them. So we have developed two parts to show the information. This raw data is more focused to underwrite and to update information before the renewal. And then this statistics side is more focused on risk indicators. So let's go through one of the examples. So in that case, the underwriting can have all the information regarding the company, not only the name and address, also the formatted address, coordinates, location, social related things, economic like activity, industrial codes, sales, and so on. And also the description of the activity, number of managers, when it has been incorporated. And all this information is all in one place. And obviously they have this API connectivity, they can get immediately this information. Also, you have peaks about the risk, so you can inspect without going the risk, and also the location of the risk. And if there are near business or industries that can be dangerous for this activity. For example, underwriters, they evaluate a lot that if you have one business located in one place and next to it you have a gas station, this is going to make more serious the risk. So this is the side of the let's say raw data regarding updated information regarding make more easy and more quick this underwriting from the underwriting and twins in the insurance companies. And then we have well, we can show some more, but it's going to be the same information. The important thing is that we can retrieve this information in milliseconds, so we can give a lot of information. It's very scalable, and we can give a lot of businesses in a very few time. And regarding statistics, we have developed number of indicators that show the risk of this business regarding cyber, regarding what is the technology level that they have, what is the level of data protection, even the GDPR risk or the GDPR level. GDPR level is related with the level of the data that they are handling and they are managing in the daily life. What are the risks related with corporate, like reputational management, the possibility of the BCR is business continuity rating, is the possibility that this company face difficulties and can move forward or not. if the company is family owned or not. And also we can deliver to the insurance company also the proclivity of this company to buy several insurance like D&O, like cybersecurity, and general liability. Also, we have adapt, so we can give to bank and insurance company information about, depending of the profile of the company, which kind of products. Not only, sorry, this part is some of them is in Spanish. We have to adjust. So which kind of products they are more likely to buy. So we have developed not only a tool that allow to underwrite better the risk, also as we set as a goal in the beginning of the project, the pilot 13, not only to better the underwrite, also to know better the client in order to offer a best, let's say, insurance customized by their needs. Okay. So let me go back, but I think this part is over. So Carmen, if you don't mind, can you share the questions, please?
Okay, let me share my screen. Okay. Okay. I have shared the screen.
Okay. So first of all, the first question is: do you have any system in place to assess the quality of your client's data? Normally, normally it's not so common to have this kind of quality system, but obviously it's interesting because, again, as I said during the presentation, the big problem of that is the cost of this system. To assess the information and the quality of this information only can be assessed before we analyze two contract area with the client, and you can imagine the time how much time consuming it is. So, well, it seems that there are not any system to assess the quality of claims data. So that means that when insurance company renew the policy, they are renewing the policy and taking decision over inaccurate information and not updated information. So they have a huge space or room to improve regarding risk and a huge money to save. I'm going to give you just a figure. 7,000 millions of euros is the amount of money that yearly the insurance companies in Europe are losing because they don't have accurate information about their clients, their enterprise clients. So let's move to the next question. So in that case, you know that lately many insurance companies, they are offering to the clients, to the most simple business like small and medium enterprises, online quotation and buying system in order that they can, the client can quote by himself the price and also underwrite this. So this is another thing. Normally, one of the problems is that you are in some way believing or not that the information that the client is giving to you. In that case, maybe if we think about individuals, this cannot be done because obviously you have GDPR, and then maybe I'm just be in advance to some of the question at the end, but we are talking about legal person. So in that case, you can establish system to test if the information that this client is giving to you to get a price, if right or not. So I think the poll, in that case, again, I think that there is no any system of data validation when there are some submission regarding price and underwriting insurance. Okay. So this question is basically, obviously, if the insurance companies, I mean, if you are in the, let's say, if you are an insurer or work in an insurance company, or a third, maybe advisor, if you know that the insurance companies, they are adding to their system these third parties data providers. And normally, as we have found in the demos that we have done, they are some of them adding this information, but they are more in the side of traditional information. They are using more third parties financial data information when we talk about commercial insurance. And also, I would like to add that sometimes it's not easy to, let's say, make see to these insurance companies that the information that they have is not accurate, because, as I said in the beginning, in the beginning of the presentation, insurance sector is a sector or an industry based on data, so it's not so easy try to, let's say, show to them that they are taking not the right decision because not using the updated information. Carmen, please, next one. That is, I will explain a little bit more. When we are talking about alternative data, is the data that is not traditionally asked in the policies. For example, traditionally data is income level, number of employees, where is the risk, I mean risk location. Non-traditional data is website, if you are selling or not online, what are, let's say, the level of opinion of your clients, and all of this information, mainly regarding online presence, that can contribute to, let's say, make more granular the knowledge of the client, and that make you, as an insurance company, be ahead of your competitors. Because normally all of the insurance companies are using this traditional data, but just now they are starting to, let's say, add this non-traditional like website or this kind of presence on maybe social media, if they have a dedicated website for clients to access through a user and password, if they are selling online or not. And as you can see, to be able to sell online or not right now, and mainly after the pandemic, is a very important factor to be taken into account. So next question is, how often do you update your current clients' data? So this is very important question, because, well, let's see the answers. I don't want to anticipate any feeling about this, the final result. So I think that we have reached 14 answers. So yes, the normal thing is only when there is a touch point, this information is updated. And unfortunately, let's say, the insurance industry is not an industry that has a very frequent or often touch points. If you compare with banking industry, in banking industry, these touch points are much more frequent, because you go to the application and check your accounts, check if you have some charge in your account that is right or not. So the activity and the recurrent access to this kind of system, and also calling to the bank office, is much more often in bank side. If you compare with insurance, normally insurance only have one touch point, that is that you have to pay again your prime every year. And if there is another touch point, normally it's because there is some casualty. So it's not very often. So the possibilities to update information, there are just a few. So that makes that the landscape of data about all the portfolio is very poor. Let's move to the next one. This is the, we have asked before about validation system in general, mainly regarding the first quotation when you are selling the policy as a first time. This is a validation that means that 1-2 months before the renewal has been done, you check the client again and you get information in order that compare that information is that you have and the new information is the same. And if you are going to, let's say, renew this policy based in the risk that has been updated. I think that the answer is absolutely massive, is no. So let's move to the next one, Carmen. I think everything is everybody has already answered. So this is also very important because we consider ourselves as an insurtech. So to have feedback about that is because sometimes we find that being a small company sometimes is complicated when we try to sell these kind of services to a big corporation, because we have to be better than sometimes other data suppliers, because we have to show them that our results are much better than the others. And obviously, if these companies, they are not working with InsurTech yet, is adding difficulties to our road to, let's say, to commercialize our services among the industry. But as I said before, we are already doing with some of the most important players. But it's a hard work. Let's go to the next one. It's only left 2, so no worries. We are going to finish as soon as possible. I think that is.
This
Do
one.
you consider? Yeah. Do you consider identifying the correct activity of your business case a challenge? Well, I'm going to wait until everybody answers to this one. Wow. So the answer to this question is very, very important, because let's say, show to us and show to you that even in the beginning, we have started saying that activity is so important to define the risk. Even the activity could be or could seem so basic to underwrite the risk, even though it's important and even though it's not updated. Okay. I mean, not updated, and it's a challenge because again, it's not automated. You don't know which activities they are developing, and mainly you have to do it optimally before every renewal. So, Carmen, I don't know if there is something else.
No, this is the last one.
Okay. I don't know if there is any question from the participants in the workshop. If there is, well, I will be more than glad to answer them.
I think we have this one. I think this was for Aristodemus, because I think it was here previously.
Yes, this is from the previous one. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I'm not sure I know very much about the model, but my understanding is that it has to do with payers actually paying in the system and then getting at the end something like a pension or something. And I don't see why the questions are actually pointless, because they could simply pay more if their behavior indicates so, or pay less if their behavior indicates so, for the same final result at the end of the day. But okay, being more on the technological side than the insurance side, maybe I'm missing something there. But that's the only thing I can add.
Okay, thank you. Okay, yeah, there is a question for Carlos actually on the in the chat. Carlos, how do you know that the information that you collect have the right quality?
So this is a very, very important question because first, as I said before, normally insurance companies, they train not to be, not to be so reliable on the information we get. So we have developed, let's say, several algorithms that show to them the quality of the information, and we rate this information depending of the matching criteria that we have regarding the company. So I have to say that this question is the most common question after we have one of the presentation. So for that reason, we have developed this algorithm that, let's say, set up some points from 0 to 10 to the information regarding from this company. So we can, let's say, directly discard the information that do not reach the quality level that we want to deliver to the insurance company.
Thank you, Carlos. And thank you for the presentation. I'll now leave the floor to Gregory and Lena for the next and final presentation.
Thank you very much for this. Lena will do the same. Thank you, Lena. Of course, the last of the presentations is around agriculture insurance and how the sector and the actors in the sector can benefit out of the progress and the activities that have been carried out within the FinTech project. Of course, the agriculture insurance sector is not different from the rest of the insurance lines, as the rest of the colleagues carried and explained earlier on. Again, here, the availability of data, the validity of data, the timing of or affordability of data is of higher importance. This was also, let's say, somehow the request or the questions that were that drove and more or less made us and our partners, Gelnard and Co., to work together on exploiting the Infinitec architecture. You will see a couple of these within the presentation, to perform and build a scalable solution that can address the main pain points. And of course, if we refer again to agriculture insurance, again here the pain point is, do I have sufficient data to diversify myself and my portfolio, even under the provision of similar services and similar products? Do I have or can I have access to information and data that can help me have efficiency in my damage assessment? Can I do something in order to automate part of these activities and have the benefits, either monetary or in terms of human labor intensity and everything else? Those were the questions that were coming to us and our partners, DNLR.co, and those were our steering, let's say, objectives when working within FinTech to develop what we call the AGI toolbox. In simple terms, what the AGI toolbox is a mechanism, a very powerful and scalable mechanism that allows any actor within the insurance sector provision to fully exploit, on one hand, the powerful data of Earth observation in resolutions either on 10 by 10 kilometers to 0.5 centimeters, and of course, on the other side, a weather intelligence engine, as we call it, where twice a day they have access to weather and forecasting information on a 2 by 2 kilometers resolution for any area within the Eurasia Peninsula. What we are driving with this and what we aspire to do with this, and we have pilot tested with a number of agriculture insurance actors within the project, is can we optimize providing those data, but also climatic analysis on the basis of data coming 30 years back? Can we offer ideas, ingenuity, information that was previously not available to them in underwriting, in changing where damage has taken place over the insured parcels? Can they diversify their portfolio or introduce new products to their portfolio by using AGI Toolbox? These are some of the answers that we attempt to answer today with this presentation, and hopefully you will also find value in this presentation. And given that it will be impossible to showcase every aspect of the platform, both I and Lena, we are at your availability to answer any questions or go through the platform together at any given point following this presentation. But as I said earlier, we had a number of cases, a number of questions coming to us from a number of AGI actors. But let's jump on the first question. What will be for you, for our friends here during this presentation? What are your pain points in using data? Lena, if we can jump on the first question. What are your main business challenges? Let's see what you face on your daily activities in terms of data gathering, data handling, and of course, on data analytics. Let's see what is the current pain points of our audience today. Of course, as you can see within the options, we attempted to cover a great variety of those, either in terms of handling, either in terms of infrastructure, on managing the personnel and the resources within the institutions. Of course, a large part of it that has to do with the indirect connected costs and profitability, the benefits, and of course, with the differentiation among the different countries within Europe, but also outside Europe with regards to regulatory or judiciary restrictions. It's exceptional that we have the participation of attendees. Let's leave it some more time, and we can then jump on the top of those and see how we can address them. Okay, let's start from the last, since I guess the changes, we might have a couple of changes. Within the FinTech, we had, as also depicted here, we identified a significant variation between each, let's say, actor coming from a different area, having different restrictions with regards to what can be done or what can be automated, what cannot be automated. As such, the AGI toolbox has been infused with an architecture that can support both the total automation of the contract process from signing to concluding and making the reimbursement, but also allowing the cases where insurance actors need to perform a human visit in the field or perform some of the traditional activities. As such, the toolbox is ready to capitalize on top of any blockchain or exploit any smart contracts capability and can give you a total automation of all processes. The second, of course, problem, like in any other industry lately, is to identify the right in-house personnel. Sometimes we outsource, we outsource activities outside of our organization, and the strictest, let's say, condition and the toughest thing to do there is control what is capable. Within the AGI toolbox, we are giving the opportunity not only for you to outsource, for example, the damage assessment or the underwriting, but you also to have the tools to control all this process. Has my outsourced company or has the team performed this activity correctly? Can I compare what I see from the remote sensing data with regards to damage assessment with the in-field visit? So all those activities that you might or any of the actors might outsource can be controlled and have a monitor tool also within the toolbox. Can I have in-house infrastructure? Of course. If any company has already an in-house infrastructure, all the services and applications that you will see later on can be provided either through an API, so that you don't need to have an additional platform, an additional tool for you, but also for those that have not already invested in in-house infrastructure or with an ERP and subsystem, we can provide the platform as it is, or we refine it according to your business model. Single client of view of risk. Within the platform, we will see the potentiality to see almost in near real time your risk exposure. We can pick out every single client, see whether there is an alert for the next week, for the next 3 days, and accordingly adjust your personnel. Interoperability is, of course, also high in the response given the type of agricultural insurance, and we are offering and we can support the inclusion of the whole actors of the supply chain coming from the reinsurer, the insurer. If you outsource damage assessment to an external entity, same applies there, whether it is an underwriting company that you outsource or everybody else. The whole supply chain of provision of agricultural insurance can be incorporated into the AGI toolbox. And lastly, of course, know-how on data. Data is primary. This was the driving factor around building the AGI toolbox. But let's jump on the first screen so as to see what we have developed and what we are in position right now to offer to you. We said that we started that we attempted to build the AGI toolbox in order to be sufficient for any type and size of agricultural insurance actor. So we have initiated this by employing one of the activities of the AGI toolbox to support companies in their contract management. So very easily, without too much effort, and especially if there is an LPIS available in your country, we can connect to it and you can directly, using only the ID of the parcel that you have under contract, insert the contract with one click, stipulate the calamities, which damages, which perils you are covering through this contract, name the value, have everything from start to finish within the platform. For every contract, for every parcel that you sign and you include this information to the system, you get an alert, daily and weather alert, whether it is under danger, whether there is an extreme phenomena that is taking place over it. And at any given point, you have a continuous monitor of what contracts are active, what contracts are not active, have finished, etc., etc. If we jump on the next slide, I can then build on top of the total risk exposure of your portfolio. Having fulfilled all your contracts in your area, for each day, for twice a day, you get an alert. Is it dangerous? Is there a possible calamity on the parcel that I have insured? Has there already been an extreme weather phenomena, or has there been a calamity that has been insured and stipulated within the contract over there? For each of those parcels under your contracts, you continuously get and you see the alerts depicted as red points, yellow points, or everything else within the platform. For every extreme weather phenomena, if the calamity or if the peril happens, then the system automatically starts to perform an initial damage assessment so that you have an early assessment in your hands and compare it to your incoming claims. Indeed, this parcel was affected, or no, this parcel was not affected, and then if your regulation is obliging you to perform an in-field visit, to put it even lower within your prioritization list. We can jump to the next slide, please. So as I said, the information is coming to you on a parcel, on even a parcel basis. What we are doing, utilizing the remote sensing part, the earth observation part of the platform, you have from the starting date until the finish date of the contract, a continuous acquiring of images. You can view by clicking in the platform how the vegetation is growing within the parcel, whether there has been any damage prior to today, but also to take alerts for the next days. And you can see this information on a pixel base. Next slide, please. And you can see the condition today, but also what was the conditions from the first day that this parcel and this quarter initiated until today. Alongside, as I mentioned earlier, you can see in the graph some red points. Those red points are events that took place and affected the parcel. So at every each point, you can have an association of event, date, and potential impact to the vegetation of the parcel. At the end of the day and at the end of the contract, or at any given point in between, you can make an assessment, request the system to either automatically or following the manual input to make a damage assessment to check whether indeed there is something worthy to follow up with the compensation or not. Here I need to comment that the platform is open to any adjustments. We can support the deployment and automation of rules within the platform on the uses of either remote sensing data or weather-driven information, and support either indemnity-based insurance products, index-based insurance products, revenue insurance products, whatever the new product that you intend to develop and deploy within the system can be totally supported on the basis of information provided. My colleague Lena will showcase to you the process of how you can use the data out of Infintex and how together we can even help you in creating, formatting new products to place in the market that you are actively in. And if we can jump on the next slide, please. Excellent. Further, of course, to the future phenomena and continuously monitoring the parcel, we have also a part of climatic analysis. More than 25 climatic indices are at your availability to go back more than 30 years and make the analysis either with the past historical data or even check how the trends has changed and how you might need to adjust your premiums. And this climatic analysis is, of course, available for the whole Eurasia Peninsula, but even on top of that, and if we can change slide, we can even see the change of climatology on top of those indices compared to any of the parcels that you have active. If we can change the slide, please. Excellent. And now you can have the analysis, the climatology over each parcel. You can request any type of indices, whether this is frost temperature, heat temperature, hairy frequency, frost days, minimum, monthly average, etc., and check the variables and how this continuously is variable over the contracted parcel or over the market that you are currently active in. This information, of course, can help any insurance company to either diversify the risk by picking less risky parcels or even to better understand the total risk exposure compared to climatic records, but also to future projections. If we can change slide, please. Concluding, what is the main point that we can offer right now with AGI Toolbox as a turnkey solution? We can offer a full digitalization for your contracts and automate contract management by reducing this labor-intensive part from the sector. We can provide the continuous monitoring of contracted parcels, what's the vegetation status, whether they have been affected, and have a continuous information of whether they will be affected within the next week or within the next month or even on a daily basis, where, as I mentioned, we have 2 circles of forecasting this information. We can provide you with a continuous stream of alerts for incoming weather phenomena so that any actor on the provision of AGI can be prepared to address this, whether one of the areas is having a larger pressure over the next week or even a larger part or even individual parcels or areas seem to have a larger pressure. You can be prepared and move your staff accordingly. We can even help you by providing automatically a damage assessment. You can view directly what took place. Today there was a hail event, yesterday there was a frost event over this area, and you have a prioritization of your in-field inspections if regulation is obligatory for you to do so, and know which claims were false, which claims you need to prioritize first because it seems to have a larger damage occurred, and which, let's say, in-field inspections can be performed at a later stage. Again, we highlight a lot the climatology data. We give you insight on past frequencies of weather phenomena. We can complement your underwriting processes, of course, for you to better understand what the future climatology compared to the past is. We can help you to diversify heavily on your premium offer, given that you can almost customize per parcel or per smaller area your premiums depending on future scenarios. And of course, to assist you alongside with our partner Genelot & Co. to introduce new insurance products and new coverages within your market. And now I pass the presentation to Lena alongside with the first question.
Lena, we cannot hear you. You are muted.
Okay, sorry, now it should work, right?
Yes, perfect.
So, hello also again from my side. Thanks to Gregory for presenting the functionalities the Agi Toolbox offers. So now we have our first, or now our next question about which of the presented services or functionalities do you consider most useful for agricultural insurance business, especially for your business? So I think it's an open question, so no answers are prepared. So just type in what pops up in your head, what you remembered most. So I don't know why the answers are not shown here, but perhaps somebody can help me if it's something is happening in the Slido
Yeah,
tool.
we cannot see the question actually. The question on the slide. And maybe you can go to the next slide. No. Okay. No, I don't know. Let me check that. Okay, now everyone can see the question.
Okay, great, thank you. So I hope then also the answers will appear here. Let's see.
I still see the Slido template. Can we try? Lena, please try to stop presenting and start representing with PowerPoint. Maybe this fixes the bug.
Oh. Perhaps that's something to do with the type of question, because I don't think we have this type before. But
Lena, let's go with the rest of the presentation and we go back to the
right.
questions at the end.
Yeah, so if you see the questions on Slido, please put just your answers there. Also, the next question is about which annual license price for such a product would be reasonable in your opinion? And the next question, what would be your acceptable price according to your previous response? So, and in the meantime, I will follow up on Gregory's presentation and go a bit deeper into the product development phase. So we as Genia & Co. As reinsurance broker and consultant, our clients are agro-insurance companies. And we worked together with AgroApps on the Agi Toolbox because we think it's an enabler for the design, testing, and introduction of new parametric insurance covers. And as well, it can support during the operational phase of the product, so monitoring constantly the data and the triggers. And in general, the chain of such a product development starts, of course, with evaluating the systemic risks insurability.
Lena, sorry, can you reshare the PPT because we see a blank screen, please?
Okay, now.
It happens to the last presentations that all technical issues fall there.
Let's
So no
try
worries.
it. So what about now?
Excellent, excellent.
Great.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first important thing in the parametric insurance product development chain is, of course, to evaluate the systemic risk insurability. So systemic risk in agriculture insurance are especially drought and frost. So these are risks that have a high spatial and also temporal scope compared to more localized events like hail. So for those risks, the parametric products can be a very good opportunity. So therefore, of course, a big amount of data analysis is required. Also, checking regulatory requirements, because still parametric insurance is an innovative and new thing in many European markets. So, and then in the end, it will lead to a new risk transfer solution, which can then be also supported by the international reinsurance market. And we did a survey in the end of last year among agro insurance companies in Europe. And all participants there stated that they were planning to increase their parametric offering and to use climate change prediction data in addition to their own historic insurance experience. So we see that there is a high demand in parametric insurance for agriculture, but also still many obstacles in terms of data handling, like we heard in the first poll today as well. So the companies still are reliant on more support to get such products on the market. And we think that parametric insurance solutions are a very promising approach to first complement traditional insurance programs by filling the protection gaps left by indemnity insurance. In terms of deductibles, the excluded perils like drought or frost and a scarce capacity. And it can also help in reducing administration costs to ensure affordability of insurance products covering climate risks, which are, of course, impacted by changing patterns of severity and frequency in course of climate change. And probably most of you know, so just a short wrap up what a parametric solution is. So it consists of two important parts. The first one is the triggering event, so a predefined event parameter, which needs to be easy measurable, objective, and transparent. In most cases, these are weather events, but there are also market price indices or crop yield index available in the agricultural market, but also especially in the US market. And the second thing, when there is an event defined, then there needs to be a payout mechanism as a pre-agreed insurance payout, regardless of any actual physical loss. So no loss adjustment is required, which saves money and also time So the money will reach the insured farmers much faster than in an indemnity case. So these two characteristics, so the triggering event and the payout mechanism, are of course the decisive parts which needs to come together in a very good way. So we need to find a good correlation between a weather event measurement and a corresponding yield or corresponding loss which would take place in terms of such an event, because it in reality, of course, there can be an event of, for example, too much rain, but on a specific field there is no damage occurred, or also the other way around. So this is called the basis risk in this parametric insurance options. So still, to find the right parametric product is a very individual thing. So if you look on the left side on this innovation graphic, so it's all about finding this sweet spot from the overlap of the three circles. So the first one is feasibility, especially in the technology part. So which data is available, how can it be measured, and how can it be processed in my company. Then the desirability, especially from the client. So how well does the product meet the need of the insured farmers, and how does it increase their resilience against climate change events. And the third one, of course, is also the viability in terms of business. So how well does it work for the insurance company to have a good balance between premium and payouts. And all these or to so this is this is still like I said, very specific to every market, to every client. So in every case, several aspects and factors have to be taken into account to choose the right option. So it's all about simplicity, sensitivity, granularity, also transparency of the data handling, and the data availability and costs. And this all should lead in the end to a very well-fitting product meeting the needs of the market, but also of the insurance companies. And within Infinitec, and together with the support of the Agi Toolbox, we are testing with some of our clients how the product development could look like, how the different indices and data available in the Agi Toolbox can benefit to a much better process. And we come up to this chain. So it all starts with the requirement analysis, of course, based on the historical loss data and or other kind of peril information we can find. And then the design phase of starts with identifying the reliable data sources for different weather events. Then to identify the best option for weather or satellite-based indices in this case. So this is like the triggering event definition, and afterwards we are able also to set suitable triggers and insurance pricing, taking into account also the economic side, and to test different scenarios in the end to select and to find the best suitable option, which then can be implemented on the market. And what benefits we see is that individual products can be tailor-made for the customers, for their risk portfolio, and for the market. Agro insurance companies can reduce their own R&D costs, can get more innovative in that sense, because of course, like many other departments, also agro insurance is often a very small part of an insurance company, so a lack of personal resources and time resources is often the case. So it would also benefit for the expansion of know-how and network to tech companies like AgroApps is, or to other insurance companies, and in the end also improve the reputation and the market penetration through better coverage of the systemic risks in agriculture. So thank you very much for your attention. We would love to hear any questions or comments you might have.
Thank you, Lena. What I would like to conclude is that we now have the opportunity not only to, let's say, support all activities that are taking place on any traditional agriculture insurance supply chain value, but also to help agriculture insurance actors, whether they are in any point within the supply chain, to upscale their activities, reduce costs, and have greater diversification in their market, because at the end of the day, we can offer them the data, they can bring us their ideas in building products, and of course, we can together make more and automate a lot more and provide a lot of more profitable opportunities to the agriculture insurance sector. Thank you for your attention in the AGI Toolbox presentation. Please consider us at your disposal to answer any of your questions that you have either here or at a later stage, and we will be more than glad to have with you a walk to our platform at any given point.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Elena, for the presentation. Thank you to everyone. Do you want us to display your question for the survey, Gregory?
Yes, if that would be possible.
Yes, Carmen, can we display the questions so that I know that we are already 10 minutes before behind the schedule, but we'll try to do it fast.
And thus we really appreciate the participants for sharing their input and feedback, even while keeping them that long within holding all presentations. So the first question will be, what do you find that is more useful or more beneficial for you as an agriculture insurance company within your sector? Is it, but out of all those services or functionalities that you have heard so far? Mhm. Consider that the next question is aligned to the selection that you did in the previous. So, Reverie, for your answer, we're depicting here how valuable your answer and the picked service that you mentioned is to your business. So please vote accordingly in terms of Likert scale. From 1 to less valuable to 10 to the most valuable. Excellent. I think that we will give some more time to the people to put their votes on. And Carmen will need to have a second analysis of those questions, combining first and second.
Do you want me to put the previous one?
No, we'll need to have the information as it is being visualized within the slide tool.
Okay.
Okay, let's step to the next one and we can do a round on top of it later on. So, to help a little bit us within our, let's say, last moment of building and putting this out to the market, we have considered that, or we have received the input from the current collaborators on their preference on two main, let's say, pricing models. The one is, of course, analogous to the hectares of monitored land under survey, and the rest is as a percentage of premium. So on that frame, we would really appreciate your input into, let's say, depicting the best suitable pricing way for the inclusion of such AGI toolbox in your own business. Excellent. I guess we can jump on the next question and then do a round on the answers. Carol. Please fill in according to your previous selection what you feel will be an acceptable price. If it was per hectare, then please insert a price per hectare. If it was a percentage with regards to the premium, please state the percentage that you feel that would be applicable. Let's see the latest answers coming in. The reductions, 0.5 based on premiums, excellent responses. Okay, Carmen, I think we can step on the next one since I don't see an active answering anymore. Okay, let's conclude a little bit until we can go on the back end and see the analogous responses. The system, as I mentioned earlier, would be available both as a platform, as software as a service, but also as through an API as data as a service. We will be working alongside with our colleagues from General & Co. to support the development of new insurance products and fit it to your market needs. We are hoping that what you have seen so far falls within the lines of your activities and you consider it will be beneficial for you. And please feel free to visit the InFintech page, the web page, or reach us directly to check more and discuss further with regards to potential customization refinements that we could do in working together. And Carmen, would you like that we check the 2 questions? I think there were 2 or 3 questions available for the pilot, for the GI toolbox.
I can.
Excellent. I guess the one is statement and yes. We 40.1, we went over this. Let's go to the 2 questions that we have. Yes, which satellite data are currently in the toolbox? Currently in the toolbox, there are Sentinel constellation images and, of course, Landsat and MODIS. But given that it is any type of satellite constellation, whether those are private or public, freely available like Copernicus constellations, can be directly inserted and be utilized. So I will not name providers right now, but whether those are tasking on very, very extreme resolution or whether those are on a specific orbit, we can support the utilization of either constellations, public, private, and of all resolution scales of resolution. And of course, historical loss data, it's one of the statements. What we can support you is to give you the frequencies of past calamities. Frequencies, and I'm not referring on the damage figures themselves, unless, of course, you do hold the dates of calamities taking place, then we can go back in time according to the availability of satellite images and make also historical damage assessment to check and to compare to your in-field visits and in-field assessments. But we can go 30 plus years back and give you the frequencies of extreme weather phenomena compared to any, let's say, calamities that you feel should be more important to you. For example, whether this is frost, then we can go back depending on which crops you are considering to offer and check what took place over this specific area in terms of frequencies and also produce the probability of having those events again in the near future. Or on the other side, to go into heat waves and go back for many years and check for this specific area what was the frequency of having heat wave phenomena or even drought, etc., etc. And I think here we can conclude. Please feel free to reach us for any further questions. We will be more than happy to answer those.
Okay.
Thank you very much to all of you. Thank you to all the participants, and I just can say you have a nice weekend. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Goodbye,
you.
everyone.
Goodbye.
Thank you for your feedback.
Thank you, everyone. Have a nice weekend.